Welcome to the Movie Draft Page, where movies come here to see if they're good enough to make the final cut. What's your favorite scary movie has been the question for nearly 30 years, but today we are ranking these boys from worst to best. The Scream franchise did the impossible, it saved the slasher genre and survived the 90s. It somehow became more relevant in the age of elevator horror, but with 6 movies, 2 generations of survivors and revolving door mass killers, which one actually wears the crown as the best? Starting with number 6, we have the Hollywood story of Scream 3. Set 3 years after the college murders, Scream 3 moves the terror to the set of Stab 3. Return to Woodsboro. While Sidney Prescott lives in isolated hiding, a new Ghostface emerges, killing off the Hollywood cast in the exact order they died in the script. The mystery forces Sidney to LA, where she discovers a dark secret about her mother's past in the movie industry that ties back to the very beginning of the franchise. Love the detail wanting to add the Stab movies to tie in because it became a successful movie franchise within the Scream movie itself, along with also having a killer be personally tied to Sidney by being a long lost brother. The movie dives back into trying to tie up the trilogy all the way back to the beginning by announcing that Maureen Prescott, Sidney's mother, was a struggling actor in Hollywood who was victimized at parties. It sounds like they had some Diddy parties going on. Roman Bridges, the producer of the Stab movies, is found out to be Sidney's half-brother and went on a state of revenge by being rejected by their mother. Basically manipulating the whole series, Roman was the one who gave Billy the idea of killing Maureen Prescott. After Billy found out about his father and Maureen having an affair that left his parents leaving each other, the best part of the movie is how Gail and the actor portraying Gail in the Stab movie, Jennifer, goes out on this detective-like mystery to find out the deeper things that gave us more depth into Sidney's mother. What the movie could have done better is it could have tied in better with the idea of having a half-brother, and I'm just sprinkling into Scream 2 to make it a bigger question mark about what's going on and how it could have been adapted into the final act of Scream 3. I'm not a movie director, so I don't know how it would actually be set up, but that's the premises if you wanted to use it. I'm just saying. At 5, we have Scream 2, where 2 years after the bloodbath in Woodsboro of the first movie, Sidney is trying to trade her trauma for a degree as a drama student at Windsor College. She's joined by Randy, who is busy studying film theory and trying to survive a real-life sequel they've been dropped into. But the piece is shattered at a sneak preview of Stab, the movie within the movie, where 2 students are murdered in a packed theater. The genius of Scream 2 is how it tackles the rules of a sequel, which Randy famously explains that the body count is always higher and the death scenes are always more elaborate. The movie delivers on a promise, especially with the car crash sequence and the shocking loss of a fan favorite character that proved that nobody was safe in this movie. Just like you love Gail and Jennifer in the third movie, Scream 2 give us a frenemy type of energy between Gail Weathers and Kata Weary. Gail is hungry for the story and Kata is hungry for attention. Watching them navigate the chaos while Dewey tries to keep everyone glued together adds a layer of tension that most slasher movies cannot replicate. The climax takes us to the college theater where the mask comes off. We get Mickey, this film student who wants to blame movie violence for his crimes, and the ultimate twist, Miss Loomis, Billy's mother, disguised as Debbie Salt, is the one pulling the strings for pure old-fashioned revenge. While Scream 2 is an incredible ride, what keeps it at number 5 is the Mickey factor for me. Similar to your thoughts on having a half-brother twist and, Scream 3, Mickey disappears for a huge chunk of the second act, making his reveal feel a little less impactful than it could have been if he was more involved, making it a question mark throughout the whole movie. Moving into number 4, we head back to where it all began in 2022 with the requel, simply titled Scream. Set 25 years after Billy and Stu first put on the mask, we return to Woodsboro to find a new group of teenagers being the new main characters, tied back to the legacy characters of the whole Scream franchise. This movie introduced us to the Carpenter sisters, Sam and Tara. Everything is immediately personal when we find out that Sam is the actual daughter of Billy Loomis. Having Sam hallucinate her dead father in mirrors was just such a good trip that added a type of layer in the franchise that haven't been seen before. It turned the final girl trope on its head by giving the protagonist the serial killer DNA. If Scream 3 was about trilogy, Scream 5 is the ultimate deep dive into toxic fandom. The movie mocks the fans who get too obsessed with true sequels and hate, basically giving it an elevated horror type of feel. The killers this time around aren't motivated by secret relatives or long-lost brothers. They're just 2 obsessive fans, Amber and Richie, who wanted to fix the Stab franchise by providing a better real-life story to adapt. The best part of the movie, and arguably the most heartbreaking moment in the whole series, is the sacrifice of Dewey. After surviving 5 movies, man, they finally got him in the hospital hallway, proving once again that the requel rules mean the same. His death is the catalyst that brings Sidney and Gale back together into the fold for one last showdown in Stu Macher's old house. Where the movie could have improved is the reveal of Richie. While Jack Quaid plays the clueless boyfriend perfectly, he felt a little too much like a repeat of Billy Loomis, but a little scratch of a little less aggressiveness. The fan fiction motive is clever, but it lacked the gut punch that, everybody wants to feel in the movie. That was like a personal vendetta that provided no type of, like emotion to it. Now that we tackled the requel, where are we going for number 3? Is it time for the New York City craziness or, a cult classic? Moving into number 3, where we heading back to Woodsboro for the 15-year anniversary of the original murders. Scream 4 was way ahead of its time, tackling the social media fame before the influencer culture was even a buzzword. Just as Sidney returns to town on her book tour, a new Ghostface emerges to terrorize her cousin Jill Roberts and her high school friends. This movie introduces the remake rules as Charlie and Robbie, the new cinema nerds in this movie, explain in a remake that the kills have to be more extreme and the unexpected is the new cliche. This film gives us the iconic and little cutie pie, Kirby Reed, a character so beloved that fans spent decades wanting her to return, but I don't understand that part. The absolute peak of this movie is the motive. After 4 films of killers motivated by family secrets or revenge, Jill Roberts reveals she's the killer simply because she wants the fame of being a survivor. Boy, what the fuck? Her line, "I don't need friends, I need fans," is one of the most craziest things that they said in this franchise. The sequence where she mutilates herself to look like a victim is a crazy smart twist that I did not see coming. Seeing Sidney, Gale, and Dewey back felt earned to me. Gale's frustration with being a has-been writer and her attempt to solve the mystery by infiltrating a stab-a-thon party felt like an evolution of her character. Where the movie stumbles a little bit is the visuals, man. The visual style, it was weird, hazy, bloom. It felt like you was drunk or you were high, I don't know. Also, while the hospital final showdown is the fun one that we probably wanted, the movie originally had a darker ending where Jill actually got away with it, which should have happened. Following the thoughts on the better tie-ins, having the movie end on a cliffhanger like that might have had the most boldest entry of the whole series, and it probably would be number 1 because of that reason. Now, number 3 and number 2, those spots were so hard because I did not know which one I want to put above the other one. So we are about to get into spot number 2 because this was a battle within myself. Coming in at number 2, we take a bite out of New York. With Scream 6, this entry proved that Ghostface doesn't need the suburbs to be scary in Woodsboro. In fact, the city makes him even more dangerous in my opinion. The move to New York City was a genius move. It traded small town vibes from Woodsboro to the claustrophobic of the New York subway and the sheer terror of a ladder escape between the apartments, the shrine to the Ghostface's history, filled with costumes and props from every previous movie, was just the ultimate Easter egg for all the diehard Scream fans that was needed. This is the movie where the new generation truly comes into their own. The bond between Sam, Tara, Mindy, and Chad, the core 4, gave the franchise a fresh new emotional heartbeat. Watching Sam finally embrace her Loomis side to protect her sister was so satisfying to pay off after the setup in Scream 5. And let's be real, seeing Kirby Reed return as the FBI agent was just something that I guess we deserve, but I don't know. This Ghostface was built different. The kills felt meaner and faster. The reveal of the family of the killers, Detective Bailey and his kids, seeking revenge for Richie was a solid mirror for Scream 2 to be executed in a much more chaotic, nothing to lose type of energy. While the subway scene was the franchise high point, the reveal of the killers felt a little been there, done that, with the revenge fueled by family trope, and the ending felt flatter than it should have been. As noted from the other takes, the connection could have been teased with a bit more mystery throughout the film of Scream 5, so the unmasking felt more like a I got you bitch, and less like a math equation being solved. And the ranking so far is at 6 we got Scream 3, 5 we got Scream 2, 4 we have Scream 5, 3 we have Scream 4, and 2 we have Scream 6, which only lead to one more movie, and this one gotta be the big dog of the table, you know what I'm saying? It's the head of the table, so it gotta be the one that's on the top. Now we take it back to the way beginning of how everything got started. For all the rules of a horror slasher movie, this movie wrote the book on it. After nearly 30 years, it remains the perfect blend of a mystery and genuine slasher movie. The Drew Barrymore, I think her last name, sequence is probably arguably one of the greatest openings in horror history, behind Scream 6, but I'm not gonna say nothing. We're gonna talk about that another day. By killing off the biggest star on the poster of the movie in the first 10 minutes, Wes Craven told the audience, no one is safe here for me, buddy. And also, you don't have no idea what you coming in for. It set a tone of high stakes and nothing is predictable. That the sequels have spent decades trying to match this vibe, it all started with Billy Loomis and Stu Macher. They are the blueprint that brought the brooding cinematic intensity, while Stu brought the unhinged pure pressure twist that there were just two killers was a game changer that everybody probably needed in 1996. And every scene where it felt like one character was the killer, this made it seem like nobody was safe. It was always gonna be more than one. From Randy's video store rules to Sydney criticizing stupid girls who run up the stairs, the movie felt like it was one of the, it was in on the jokes with us. It turned the audience into detectives, making us look at every clue and every scene, and it was just hard to find flaws in a masterpiece like this. But if we're being as picky as we were with the others, the Sydney-Billy relationship relies heavily on the 90s trope. The betrayal where it just felt like a slap in the face, and a realization that Sydney, and it defined her for the next 5 movies, and she did not trust absolutely anybody. But that's my ranking of the Scream franchise. I want to thank you for tuning in and watching my video, my very first video at that. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff to put a smile on my face. And let's have fun. Drop in the comments what's your favorite Scream movies, rank best to worst. But all right, catch you guys later. I'm out.